Okay, hi everyone. So welcome back. And I'm very sorry. I meant to get these color combos out to you sooner, but I had some projects I was working on and it took a little longer than I thought. And as you can hear Gretel behind me, she is being a heathen. She is playing on the cat condo and attacking my blinds. But this is what she does. I said in a video earlier when Claire was doing her live, if some of you happen to have been in that live, I cannot make a video without making a mistake or Gretel causing chaos for me or my camera falling over. Something always happens when I'm trying to create a video, and it usually happens within my first 2 or 3 takes. So just so you know, this isn't my first take doing this video. You're looking at a blank sheet of paper here, but I wanted to share with you a couple things really quick. First of all, I'm going to start and do some red color combos. Now, these are color combinations with your Prismacolor Premier colored pencils, of course. I will start delving into some polys after I get a few more colors down with the Prismas. However, I wanted to share some other things with you really quickly. First of all, Claire's live today was awesome. I love that goddess that she did with the skin color. That skin color was phenomenal. It was glowing. It was golden. It was beautiful. So if you guys didn't get a chance to see her video, I suggest you go back and watch that and how she did that skin color, because that was spot on. She really nailed that with the gold dress. That was beautiful. Definitely one I'm going to go back and watch how she did that, because even I was in awe of that. So the other thing I touched on today was I have a set of 72 count Derwent colored pencils, the chromaflow, that I will be selling for very cheap. Normally I don't put that out there, but I just wanted to throw it out there for anybody in the US who's looking to obtain a set for less than $80, which is about what they're going for on Amazon. Just send me a message on Messenger and we can discuss it. I was sent the major big set, so I have the 150 set, which I will swatch out the whole complete set, including all the new colors, in an upcoming video. So we will do that together, and I wanted to share something with you, which is this. Let me zoom out here a little bit so you can see this chart, and I'll tell you where I got it. This is not one of my charts, so don't ask me for it because it's not mine. Let me zoom out just a little bit more. You're going to see my mess here because I'm sitting on my couch. Okay, can you see that? This is a chart that is created by Mystic Sparkle Wings. This is her chart. She is on a platform called Deviant Art, and her charts, if you are a member of Deviant Art, you can go on there and make a contribution to her, and you may use her charts, but you must give her credit. These are hers. These are her creations. These belong to her. You cannot use them, sell them, or reproduce them without giving credit to the artist, which is her. These are her charts. So I want to make that very clear. These are not my creations. I did not make this chart. This is a color swatch chart, which is for 150 colors, which is awesome because you can do 150 colors on one sheet of paper. I love it. She has so many color charts on there. She's fabulous at making these. So again, that is Deviant, like you little deviant, Deviant. If you want to become a member of that art community, it's a great place to share your art, become a member, pay your dues, and you can get things like this from some of the other members that are in those groups. And again, this is Mystic Sparkle Wings. She has created this chart, and this one is one of hers. So With all due respect, I appreciate that she's made this chart, and I want to give a shout out to her. I did print this off, and I am going to use this chart in the video. So again, this is Mystic Sparkle Wings chart, and I thank her for making these, and I'm going to use this. So again, don't go on there expecting to print her charts for free and sell them, upload them, use them, and abuse them, because it will come back at you. I'm letting you know right now, don't do that. It's a big no-no. Anyways, if you want to get these, you're more than welcome to, because this is the one I'm going to use to do the chromaflow 150 count set in the upcoming video. Otherwise, whatever chart you have that you want to use, you are more than welcome to follow along. I just really like this one, and I'm going to use it. Plus, it brings attention to her, and I love to throw out artists here and there in my videos, and she is one that I'm bringing attention to this week. I will put her link to Deviant Art in the description of this video. So if you want a quick link to find that website, I will include that. So again, make sure you pay tribute to her if you download one of her charts, because all the proceeds go to the artist, and she will greatly appreciate it. Okay, let's move on here, because we're not using this right now, but I wanted to share that with you so you can prepare for the upcoming swatch, because that's going to be a long video. Okay, now here we are with this one, and some of you did ask me for a copy of this, which is one of the charts I created, which here was the first one I did, which is not so great, but this is my second one I did. It's called Chart 2, which is, it's a little bit nicer of a design, and I put it down at the bottom. Color Combo Chart 2, Pacific Northwest Colorist. It's a little cleaner of a design than my first one. So some of you asked me for this, and I went ahead and sent that to you. So you should have already have that and been able to print those out. These are mine, and I created these in Excel. So you are more than welcome to share my charts. I don't mind at all. Send them to whoever you want. I don't care. Use them. Print them off. I have no problem with that. I made them in Excel. They're not that hard to recreate. So again, I don't have a copyright. They're not patented. It's just borders and edges, and it's no big deal. So by all means, recreate them if you want to. Or otherwise, I can just send you a PDF file. It's not a big deal. Okay, now that we're hashed that out, I have no problem with you guys reusing my charts, printing them, or whatever you want to do with them. Use them. Excuse me. Because I am 100% nonprofit, I don't make money from anything I do. I did try the Amazon affiliate thing for a while, but it kind of conflicted with what I was doing. Oh, these allergies. So I stopped doing that. I do provide links to a couple Amazon affiliates, and Claire is my number one because she's like my sister across the pond. Those are people I trust very much, and I will put their links like in my descriptions. Those are people that I highly trust and respect, and if I put their link in there, you bet that they are a safe place to go and click on their links and shop through their Amazon links. Otherwise, I provide direct links, not third-party links. Anytime I put a link in my description, it'll take you right to that website or right to that shopping site. There is no third party, and there is no kickbacks to me for anything. So just so you guys know, I don't get any commissions or anything. Everything I do is out of my pocket. I do product reviews. I do book flip throughs. People will send me books, and I do reviews and flip throughs for those. I'm not paid at all. I don't receive any money or any commissions. I do receive a book, like an adult coloring book. That's usually a free gift. Sometimes I receive free colored pencils, but I also do free giveaways. So any of that stuff that I give away, it's either extra product I was given or stuff that I've purchased with my own money. So keep that in mind. Like this upcoming giveaway that I'm doing on June 1st. Some of that stuff was given to me, but also some of it was out of my pocket. So I want you to know that, and that's just because a lot of people think some of us are these big influencers and we make all this money doing these videos. Some of us actually don't make money doing this. And I am one of those people. So I do this because I enjoy it and it gives me something to do. I do it just because I like to. And I'm just your average everyday person. Although the product review thing is something I kind of fell into after I retired from the military. But I still enjoy doing it. And I do get random weird stuff all the time, but it has nothing to do with art. So you will probably never see that side of the stuff that I do on the side that keeps me really busy. But blah, blah, blah. Let's get started here with some of these combos. And again, this is color combos with reds. And I zoomed in up at the corner here. This stupid little table. I need to get a different table. And you can see some of the numbers. And we're going to start with 930. Oh, no, we're not, because I don't know what 911 is. Where did I get that number? I always do that. I always have one that's all messed up. What was I thinking? 911? That makes no sense. I'm betting that was like 917. How much you want to bet that was 917? Because it's 1003. So let's skip down to 937. What the heck? I've always got that one that's all goofy, huh? So I have to rotate here on you. Let me move my table. Oh my gosh. Okay. Because I have to do this at an angle sort of to stay in camera view. So this is going to be tricky. Because my light, where my light is and where you are, oh yeah, this is going to be a stinker today. So I'm going to start with 937. I'm going to go at the bottom here. So I'm going to skip that first one. And 937 is your Tuscan. And you notice my sharp points. So you know I'm not using heavy pressure with my Prismas. Claire's a pressure monster. That's why I was teasing her in her live today when she said that about using heavy pressure. I was like, oh no. Some people do, and we were talking about burnishing and getting that finished look. I know it's a preference, I think, when you want to get that polished, shiny look with your pencils. Some people like to get that look, and other people, they don't strive for that. But you know, there's many ways to get it. And I like to tell people that the number one thing to remember is if you're trying to get that really shiny, burnished look and you're just not achieving it, the big thing that you're probably missing is you're not applying enough layers. So you should be able to achieve that without using a blender pencil or any type of blending additive. You should be able to get it without doing that. You should be able to achieve it just by using the colors you're working with. So if you're not able to do that, you should brush up on some of your techniques a little bit and stay away from using your white pencil as your blender, because white changes your colors. White is very opaque. Most of your high-end colored pencils, your white pencil is opaque. So it'll actually change the color that you're working with. It'll dull out your bright colors, and your picture will be very dull from using your white pencil as a blender. So let's go on to 1084. I know that seems like an odd combination, right? 937 and 1084. Trust the process. But anyway, a lot of people do that. I see them say, oh, use your white pencil. No, don't use your white pencil. It's about technique and using light layers to blend with, like I'm doing here. Can you see my fat hand in your way? You just want to lightly blend those layers together. You're just repeating, like going over it and over it and over it. You don't have to really push down to mix Prismas. That's what's so nice about them, is they're very soft. So that's what makes them so easy to work with. Polychromos, they are a harder core pencil, but they're still very soft. They're an easy, workable pencil. Even though it takes a little bit of a different technique to blend them, because they're a vegetable oil-based pencil. They're one of the only true oil-based pencils out there. And I know people throw that term around very loosely, oil versus wax. You know, all colored pencils have oil and wax in them. True story, true fact, unless they're made with beeswax. Just saying. Anyway, so it's all about building light layers. Because if you build up enough of your light layers and you're getting your blending down, you should burnish your paper automatically just as you're blending and building your layers. Just like we're going to do here by doing combos. That's why swatching and doing color combos is important. It's good practice. So 140 is your next color, which is going to be your eggshell. So see how those two colors, I didn't do a big line here. I just kept it real short. See how it comes together? Now you'll see I use these two colors on some fall leaves, the 1037 and the 1084 together. It doesn't seem like it makes sense, right? But it does. So when you're doing colors for fall, as summer turns to autumn or fall, you see those reds and browns, they kind of come together. Those are two really good colors on your leaves. Now, when you see it kind of that bright color in there, that's when you start seeing that little bit of that eggshell, which is like a creamy yellowish color. And you start pulling in that little bit of that eggshell in there. It's not quite white, but it's not quite as creamy as that ivory either. And you see what I'm doing here is I'm just doing small circles and I'm pulling that 1084 and the eggshell kind of together. And as I'm pulling that out towards the white part of the paper, now I'm going to reverse and I'm going to go back over the Tuscan, but not all the way to the edge. I kind of want to leave a dark edge there. Now I'm going to bring it back out because I want to blend that line. I don't want a sharp line there. So if I can help it, it's hard to do on camera, but so you're going to work those three colors together. You're still leaving just enough of each color where you can see the three colors. They're very much defined. But you still can see those three colors very, very much. But you've got those three different shades. And you can see that paper, and you can, when you burnish your paper, you can really feel it too. Because when you go across a toothy paper, you can feel it starts out and it's very gritty almost. You can feel the tooth of the paper as you start to color. And then as you add more and more color, your pencil starts to glide over the paper. It starts to become smoother and smoother. And the smoother it gets, the more wax bloom you get coming off the paper. The more dust you'll see. That's how you know you're starting to burnish your paper, because you're getting what's called a peel. So your color is starting to peel off the paper, where it's not actually going into the paper itself. It's just peeling back. So if that makes sense to you, Okay, your next color combo is 923, 926, and 928. So we're going to start with 923. If I can find it. You can see my little pile over here. I pulled all the colors I'm going to work with, so I wasn't digging through my binder. There's 926. There's 923. And I know I need my 928, which is one of my pink ones. Nope, that's 929. There it is, I think. Nope. There it is. Yep. So 923 is going to be first. And I like to start at my edge on my combo sheets. But anyways, I had years and years of these combos, and I wanted to share them with you. So I thought this would be a good one. Now, these aren't specifically just reds, but these are combinations that contain reds, or tones or shades of red. And I thought this would be a good one because summer's here, and we're going to go into fall after summer, and then the holidays, so the red's a really good one. And again, I'm just doing the dark outer layer. And the reason I do my combos this way, and you can do them any way you like, it's so that I work from dark to light, unless I'm specifically want to see a different way of doing the combo. Like if I'm doing a metal work or something, I want to see dark to light to dark to light. So if I want to see shadow work, then I'll do multiple areas where I add dark and light. But the reason I do this is so that I can see how the colors work together in multiple layers as I'm bringing the different levels of color together. So as I bring my darkest layer to the edge, you can see I'm layering or feathering out in a lighter manner. So you always want to bring your color lightly outward. That's going to give you the best opportunity to blend with your next color. Because if you have a really heavy hand, it's going to be harder to work that line. You're going to get more of a sharp line there, and that's where you're going to have your hardest time blending. You want to try to avoid having those sharp lines between your color changes. Okay. So my next color is 926, which is kind of that rosy pinkish red. And again, I'm not going hard. Again, you see my sharp points there. So I'm using a light hand and I'm just doing small circles. I'm pulling some of that 923 into my 926, using small circles to get it into the grain of that paper. And I'm working it outward over to the white. And it's just basically repeating the same thing over and over. And I know it seems so tedious, but your end result is so much more finished and polished than it is if you just go all in and just become a pressure monster. Now, I know a lot of artists that are so heavy-handed, it's insane, but the work that they create is stunning. But they don't use Prismacolor pencils. They use a more firm pencil, like they'll use the Varathins, or they'll grab a harder core pencil. They know better than to grab a super ultra soft pencil. You definitely want to steer away from this type of colored pencil if you're a pressure monster, because you'll be spending a lot of money and have a lot of frustration because you'll be breaking tips. And it can be overwhelming. And learning your pressure is going to be something that you have to learn as an artist and as time goes on. It's not something I learned overnight. I'll tell you that right now. And watching people like Bonnie Snowden, where I think I have a light hand, and then I watch her, I'm like, geez Louise. And then I'm like, wow, I have a heavy hand. So it's amazing what you learn just from watching other people. Okay, so this is 928. And again, I'm starting not quite all the way back into my 926, but just where I start to lighten up my pressure. So I'm pulling that 926 outward, and I'm blending it with my 928. So you can see the colors are coming together here. And I'm kind of pulling it outward into the white space. So I got those three colors blending beautifully now. And again, if you're not getting the blend you want, don't be afraid to go back over your blends with your original colors you started with. So if you need to apply more of your 923, your 926, and your 928, go back over and do it again. You don't have to accept your original layering. Go back in just like I'll do it right now. So let me grab my 923 here. I'm going to go right back in here. Let's put some 923 back in just to show you that you can go right back in there and add more color in. You don't have to just say, hey, okay, I did it once. I should have the color I'm looking for. Well, that's not always the case. And I haven't burnished this, so I can always go in and put some more color in there. So let's do it. So you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. And see now, because I've got a few layers in here, I can feel the difference in the tooth of my paper. I can feel the creaminess. It's starting to slide a little more across my paper. Now I'm going to add the 926. And again, I'm just blending the two colors together. And you can tell I'm not being all perfect about it, because these are just doing combos. They're just like practice. Which is really hard at the angle I'm sitting at. So when I take a break, I'm going to make an adjustment to my seated position here. And again, I'm feathering it out, so I'm getting lighter as I go outward too. I might have to adjust this lighting as well. It's that weird time of day. So the sun's going down, and I got this weird, I don't know, overcast effect coming through my windows. And that's not helping me at all. But as you can see, I'm just going repeating blending. Again, it's that tedious, time-consuming layering. But your finished project is always beautiful when you take the time and you use your patience. And I know sometimes my patience will run out towards the end, and I just want to finish my project. But then I get mad at myself, and I think, why did I rush? But when you don't rush, you get these beautiful completed images. And somebody, I can't remember the lady's name, she was commenting on, I think it was on Emily's Facebook page, talking about, now you can see how I just went back over everything with my lightest color. And the reason I'm doing this is because it kind of pulls everything together. And like I said before, when you burnish your page, you'll really notice it. And I can feel it now that my paper is starting to burnish because you can see the dust I'm getting. But as you see, that color blends really nice together, those three. But you can kind of see what I was talking about when you take the time and you work the colors together. You should see a gradual change in color, not a sharp line. And I know this one's hard to tell because it's on camera, but when you work it on paper in person, you'll see what I mean. There is a gradual shift there, but it is hard to tell because on camera it looks like there's a sharp line when there's not. But somebody was talking about it, some influencers earlier today, and they were a little frustrated with so many of them not showing too much technique anymore and showing more book reviews and all this other stuff. And I know that Claire does a lot of videos, and I try to show a lot of technique when I do color alongs, and I am guilty. I haven't done too many color alongs lately, and I'm going to work on that. I do have a bunch that I have been doing. I've set aside 923, 918, and 1002, so I don't forget as I'm running my mouth. But I have set some aside. Some artists that I've picked. One is from Etsy. I've printed off a page of hers that I think is going to be a good one to do together. It's got some skin. It's got some fruit. So I think it'll be a really good one to do a color along with. But she mentioned that she's having a hard time finding tutorials that not only have color alongs, but also talk about and show some techniques. So I chimed in because I know in the color alongs that I have, I've shown some techniques on there, but it's sometimes hard because I don't always cater to the most advanced colorists. When I do that, I find people get frustrated because I have a lot of colorists that are new, but then I get people that complain saying it's way too easy. They don't want to subscribe to my channel because I don't show enough advanced work for them. So I try to show a mix of everything. And if I stop and pause and do strictly beginner type stuff, it's really difficult for advanced colorists to sit there and listen to the beginner type stuff. So I try to add a little bit of everything in there, but I am going to try to add a little bit of everything in my videos. I'll try to touch on some more techniques when I'm doing them, and not only for beginners, I'll try to add a little more guidance in there, as well as, for the more advanced people who want to skip along. And I always tell my advanced colorists that, you can just put me on mute. It's easier to do that. Just mute me. Then you don't have to listen to it. Because you don't need the advice as much as some of the beginning colorists might need on the how-to. So you can just skip right along and do it without the sound. And that's one good thing about YouTube is you can just put it on mute. So you can see here I'm just adding the 118 to the 923 I laid down. But sometimes it's really hard because, we want to give everybody something. And we don't always know what everybody's looking for. And it's really hard because you don't want to leave any one class of, or I should say level of artist out. So we don't know what everybody strives to achieve. And it can be hard for us. It can be frustrating for us. You know, for me, it's a hobby, and I do it for fun and for enjoyment. And I do it so others can learn, because it's funny. Who knew I could do this, right? So why not share the information that I have with other people? I don't have anything that I can't pass down to somebody else. You know, and if it helps somebody else learn how to do something that they enjoy doing. Gretel, did you hear that? She's such a little heathen. Anyways, if you were all on Claire's live earlier, you know that I have a Russian blue handful. She is a heathen. So this is 1002. So I'm going to add this one in. Now you can see how these three colors are really bright when you work them together. This gives me a total fall vibe. I think I did these three colors on a fish or a goldfish in one of Joanna's books. My lighting is so bad, I'm struggling over here. It's like I got a pair of sunglasses on or something. Gretel! Oh my gosh! She just slammed into my lamp. Did you see that? Holy cow. I'm telling you, that cat's part dog. There's something wrong with her. She just scared the living daylights out of me. I do not know what's wrong with that cat. Anyways, I'm working my way back here. I'm going to finish this one, and sadly, I'm going to have to take a quick break and fix my lamp. I'm blending over this now to brighten up these colors at the end, which is kind of bringing them all together. Now she's got a mouse, a toy mouse. She's over by the fireplace. Oh, this cat of mine. I've always just had regular, like, little tabbies. Or just little mixed kitties. Oh, she is something else. I wish you could see her. Okay. You see that one? That's a good combo. Anyways, with the magic of the camera, you won't even know I'm gone. But you might, because everything will be adjusted when I come back. I'm going to take a quick little break. Fix my lighting. Actually, I think she adjusted it. The lighting's kind of better, right? Oh my gosh, she is such a trip. But I will be right back in just a minute. Okay, welcome back, you guys. That was a long break, but probably short in video terms. I'm watching a little movie here. Now that I've adjusted a little bit, I hope the lighting is better. And I fixed my lamp since Gretel scared the living daylights out of me and almost knocked it over. As I said, I can never make a video without something crazy going on or little Miss Gretel wreaking havoc. So let's carry on with some color blends here. And let me see if I can... I got to move my camera just a hair, so bear with me. Because I have got to adjust my paper because I am too far away. So, can you see? No. You cannot see because I can't see. Okay. You should be able to see. Okay. That first one 930. I think it's supposed to be 917. I don't know where I got 911. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'll come back to that one here in a second, but we're going to do 937, 925, and 922. So let me grab my 925 and my 922. My little pile of colors over here, because I pulled everything out and off to the side. So, okay. You probably hear my TV in the background. It's my noise maker. It keeps my brain occupied. So again, just like I always do, I work from dark to light when I do my combos. And again, just to pick up where we left off, these are red combos. They're not necessarily all red colors, but they're combinations using different tones and shades of red. So some may have pinks and orange and yellows in them, but it's going to give you several variations and different color combinations with red shades or shades of red. And I'm going to have more colors coming up too. Like I'm going to do some greens and some blues. And these are all Prismas. I'm hoping to move forward and do other brands of pencils as well, because I have just a vast amount of color combinations for different brands of colored pencils that I should share with people. And I think that they would be very beneficial to a lot of people out there. Sorry, it's kind of a hard angle for me to get in here and get these combos at the ink, because I'm sitting at a weird angle. Because, of course, I'm being lazy today and not sitting at my desk. I'm sitting on my couch. So I got my little stand set up really weird. And my TV's a little too loud, so apologize for that. Because if you can hear it, that's not good. Okay. There's some weird movie on Netflix I'm watching. Okay, now my next color is 925. And Miss Gretel is sound asleep right now, so it's a good time to do these. But while I was eating dinner when I was on my break, I went ahead and I filled out my color names for my chromaflow 150 set. So when I sit down and swatch those out with you, I put a red star next to the 50 new colors that you can only get in the 150 set, which I'm going to go over some good and bad points about the Derwent and give a little bit of story about the Derwent chromaflow line that some of you may or may not know about this line of colored pencils, and why after Derwent put out the Color Soft line, why the chromaflow line came out and what the big hype was behind that, and my opinion on that. So I might get some blowback from some people. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I got goods and bads on those. So, and not bad on the pencils. I mean, I do like them, but there's pros and cons in everything, right? Okay, so now I'm going to do 922. And again, I'm just doing light layers here as I bring this 922 in. And I know it's hard to tell on video, but I am doing really subtle, small circles because I'm blending that color into the fiber of the paper. And I'm kind of doing like an oblong shape of a small circle at this point because I'm working at a funky angle. But I'm just pulling it out into the white area. So I'm going to go back to my darker area now. I'm going to pull those colors together. And then I'm going to pull them forward. So I'm going to blend those colors out. Now you can see where I mentioned previously where I said technique in blending and burnishing with your colors. You shouldn't always need a blender pencil. Blender pencils are great. They're really good for certain techniques and textures, but you shouldn't always need one to achieve a good burnished look or to get a really good blend. Sometimes it's just about adding the right amount of color to your paper and the right amount of layers. So if you're not getting enough color on your paper and you're hoping to get that nice burnished shine with your Prismacolors and you're not getting that, it may be you're not adding enough color. So you can go back over it and add more layers. You don't need to press hard with your Prismas to get those deep, rich layers. It's just a matter of building them with multiple light layers. And it does take time and patience and technique. So, a lot of people compare their work to others. Don't do that because it's not fair. It takes a long time to practice and learn. And the other thing is, do it because you enjoy it. Don't do it and compare yourself and your skill level to other people because that's not fair to yourself. It'll make you unhappy with what you've created. Everybody does what they do because they enjoy it. If I compared my artwork to others, I am so subpar. I do it because I like to do it. I don't care what other people think. And you shouldn't either. You should do it because you like doing it. Okay? So you can see the difference in the colors. And that's kind of what you're after. Okay, 925, 922, and 1002 are the next ones. So I already have 2 of those colors in my hand. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my 925. Am I still in your view here?
I think they want more than just the money. I think they want to know if they get sick enough. Or if they have C8 in their blood and what that's going to do.
Turn that TV down. Good Lord. Why is it so loud? Not even sitting that close to it. It's crazy. Watching a true story. It's a movie based on a true story about Teflon. And the whole story about the original manufacturing of Teflon and what DuPont did. It's quite interesting. Just makes you really aware of things, things that you may not have known, and you're like, wow, if I only knew. Shocking. People just don't surprise me anymore, The world has just changed so much from since I was a kid. Okay, so 922 is my next one. And hopefully you can see the color numbers because I zoomed in pretty good. But again, if you don't know how to zoom in, there is a short little video under my videos. You'll just have to look for it. It's not one I made, but it's somebody else's. I just added it. Watch it. It's really short. It just shows you how to zoom in with your smartphone. You need to turn your phone into the landscape mode once you start a video. And you can zoom in and out on people's videos as you're watching them. It's just a nice little way to get a better view, so you're not struggling to see what people are doing. So many people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could do that. I had no idea people didn't know that. Too funny, right? It's basically the same way you would if you would zoom in and out on a photo. Same type of motion with your hand. So again, I'm just building layers here. And I know I'm a little slow at my blending. I could go a little faster here for you. But I kind of like to work it so you can see exactly what I'm doing, so I'm not going too fast. And I know these aren't beautiful, but if I make them perfect, then I'm going to take a really long time. So let's grab 1002. And some of these are like 2 colors, 3 colors. Some are 4 colors. The combos just kind of vary. And again, these are just ones I pulled from my book with varying degrees of reds. I just thought it would be fun to give you guys some more combinations on different colors that you can actually record yourselves in your color combo books. So you can go back and reference these anytime you want. Okay, now I'm going to go back over here to my dark. I'm not going to go all the way to the edge again, but I'm just going to start. And I'm going to start with the dark. And I'm going to pull that dark over. And again, I'm using my lightest color. And you're going to see how those colors really start to come together. And again, I like to work from dark to light. And you'll still see the white of my paper kind of peeking through because I haven't burnished this. But as you build your layers, you'll no longer see the white of your paper peek through. But this is like 90-pound paper, for those of you who are curious what the weight of this paper is here. Okay. Okay, my next one is 931. Which is the dark purple. So 931, 925, 930, 918, 916. So we got a larger combo here. It's funny because when people say, I just don't know how to pick colors. Yes, you do. You get dressed every day, right? You put your clothes on. I mean, you pick an outfit out for the day, so you know how to pick your outfit out. You know how to pick colors. So if you can do that, you can do this. Start looking at the world around you, like your food packages. Look at the coloring on the food packages. Look at the leaves and the plant life. Look how they put colors together. It'll start clicking in your head. It really will. Don't think of it like, I have to understand this. Think of it as like more of, how do I say this? More like you're just looking at it like an everyday thing, like it's normal. Like when you look at like green grapes at the store in a package, you look at the color on the grape and you see green, you see little bits of yellow, you see the darker green veins in the grape, you see the flaws, the little brown flaws in the grape. You see all the different colors in the grape, the brown stems. That's what you want to look at. You want to look at every little bit and every little color that's there. Okay, so, excuse me. The next color is 925. You know, so I'm going just a little bit faster here because I'm super slow at doing my combos because I tend to really want to build my colors up. So I'll try to move these along for you. Plus, I like to chatty Cathy sometimes. And you notice how I bring my light shade out onto the white area? That is so that when I bring in my next color, it's easier to blend. Again, if you leave that really sharp line there, it's really hard to blend if you're doing soft, gentle layers. And that's when, if you're heavy-handed, you're going to have a really hard time getting that smooth line. But again, if you blend your colors just right, you'll get a nice, beautiful blend. Okay, 930. I gotta find it. And I know mine's a shorty. Okay, see, it's a short one. Got pencil extenders. These are available on Amazon, by the way. I'll put the link in my description on my video. You can always go to my video descriptions and get links for almost everything except for my color charts. Those I'll have to email you, or if you send me a message on Facebook Messenger, I can send you a PDF file. Just let me know who you are. If you just send me a message, I probably won't respond because I don't know who you are. You have to tell me what you want. You have to say, hey, Stephanie, I saw you in a video. I was wondering if I can get a copy of your color chart. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, sure. Otherwise, I'd be like, who are you? Because I don't know. It's funny, I'll get messaged all the time. I'd be like, I'm sorry, do I know who you are? They'll be like, oh, I saw your video. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I have absolutely no clue unless you tell me. But I'm happy to send them. I can email them in a PDF, or I can send it to you in Messenger and you can just print it yourself. It's a good little, this one is the old version. Like I said, I did update it. It's a lot nicer now. Okay. The next one is 918, which is my wonderful little orangey. And your last color will be 916. But I will, like I said, I'll put any links I talk about, I always put in my description. Again, except for personal charts and stuff, because I don't have a web page or a store to put those on. So I have to just send those to you. I'm sorry. But it's easy enough for me to do. And I've sent them to a few people already, and I always give permission for those people to share them. So I have no problem if you share them with friends or other groups. It's totally fine by me. And if somebody gets mad and says, oh, you shouldn't do that, no, it's fine. You tell them I said it's fine. It has my name on the bottom of them, and I'm fine with that. I've had people message me already and say, oh, somebody sent me a copy of your chart. I'd be like, that's fine. Be like, share it. I don't care. I'm not, I don't care. I'm happy to share. Okay, 916. Oh, I should have, let me lighten this out here a little bit. Otherwise, that's going to be too, I was chatting, so my layer is a little too dark right there. I might have a sharp line there. But anyways, like I said, anytime I use somebody else's charts, I'll provide the links to where I got that chart if it's not one of mine. Anything like that. If I buy something directly from an Etsy store artist, I'll provide that link for that artist. Affiliates that I shop from directly, like Claire, I'll provide her link because she's a safe Amazon affiliate that you can shop from and know that you're going to get your product and not have any issues. And I don't use third-party links ever. So anytime I provide a link to a site, it's the direct link. Like for Blick or Amazon, it's always the direct link. Okay, that's one of my favorite color combos. It's bright, it's cheery, it's colorful. So, okay, again with the 937, where did that one go? That Tuscan. And 921 and 1003 is going to be the next one. I want to try to get through a bunch of these and get this video posted tonight. It's already getting late here. Because I want to get at least part 1 of this posted for you guys. And then I can try to get the chromaflow up. And I want to swatch all of those out. But at least you'll have, it's not, I just did it, I'm going to do it in the color order of the box set. But I did, like I said, mark out the new colors, the 50 new colors that come specifically in the 150 set only, which is thoroughly frustrating. So I'll be talking about that. That's a big talking point. And I know a lot of my US people may agree with me on supply issue with Derwent. So okay, why am I struggling with this one right here? It's almost like something feels like it's on my paper. I hate that. Okay, then 921, which I do not have in my mittens. Nope, that's not it. That's this one. And it may make some people happy that I will do some color combos with Derwent, polychromos, maybe my Black Widows. I know a lot of people use the Black Widows. I do like my Black Widow set. They are a budget-friendly set, but I admit I like that set of colored pencils. So I will be doing eventually a bunch of combos for those because I do have quite a few. I'm trying to think which other ones that I have. Some Karen Diash, some Luminance combos. Quite a few of those. Oh, I made a hot mess out of this combo, didn't I? Because I'm running my mouth. I'm just thinking too much. It feels like there's something on my paper. Like something got spilled on it or something right here. Like it feels greasy. What's going on there? Why am I having a heck of a time? You ever had that happen where it feels like there's something on your paper and you can't... There, see, now it feels normal right here. Ah! I wonder if I got something on it and it just wasn't cooperating. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just tired. I'm going to blame the paper. We'll just blame the paper for this mess up. Okay, now 1003. We'll just blame the paper right now for that ugly combination I just did there. Because normally it looks a heck of a lot better. Do you like that flash of light? That was my dining room light going off. It's on an auto sensor. I have a smart home. I shouldn't say smart home. I have smart home technology. So my lights, if I don't tell you know who to turn them off for me, they go off by themselves, which is nice. So if I forget to turn my lights out, they just go out. So that was my dining room turning itself off. So if I'm feeling lazy, I don't have to get up and turn my lights out. I could always tell her to turn my lights out. I don't dare say her name. She talks back. You know who I'm talking about. That lady with Amazon. Amazon lady. Okay, this is 1003. Now I'm going to go back over. I'm gonna try, see, it still feels like there's something on my paper right here, and I can't get that. See, it just feels funky right here, right at the end here. Must be something on my paper. I might have spilled something. Because the rest of it's fine. It's blending great. Just something right there. Whatever, I give up. Okay, I'll let you do that combo on your own. I'm sure you make it look a lot better. So the next one, 996. Let's start with that one. Where is it? Which is that really dark one, which is your black grape. So 996, can you see? 996, 925, 930, 993, 118, 918, and 1003. And when I'm done, don't worry, I'll turn the page and I'll zoom out a little bit. And you guys can take a screenshot so you can get all of these. And I'll make sure you get both sides so that you can pause this and zoom in. And you can work on these all on your own without watching the whole video if you want to. I won't punish you. How about that? You can actually do them on your own if you prefer. And now again, I'm feeling that weirdness in this corner. I must have got something on my paper here. Now it feels normal. Yep, I must have got something on that little corner of my paper. Definitely. Wonder what it could have been. Who knows? It was a fresh sheet of paper. Always something. I can never just have a perfect video. That would be unheard of. So funny. I almost miss Gretel over here causing chaos for me. She's sleeping. She must have burned herself out. The Energizer Bunny kitty. Again, I'm used to having, which this is going to sound hilarious, I had 2 Bengal mix kitties. They're Bengal and Tabby mix. And I lost my boy COVID year, which was really hard on me. He was my heart kitty. I mean, he was my buddy. He literally took the stuffing right out of me when he died. He was young, had an undiagnosed heart condition, so that was a really hard loss for me. I just didn't realize how attached to him I really was. But I had him and his sister, Sugar and Spice. I still have Sugar, but losing him was really hard, as I got him after I got home from Iraq. So I never really realized how hard that was, and it took me a long time to get over him. 925 is my next color, and I still get pretty upset over him. It was just horrible. One minute he was fine. It was Thanksgiving, and he passed out. He fainted, and he stopped breathing. It was horrible. Horrible. I panicked, full-blown panicked. And just after Christmas, he was gone. So he had an enlarged heart. He was throwing blood clots. So we never really figured out what really happened to him, other than he had a congenital heart defect that went undiagnosed. And he had really good vet care. So it was just something that nobody noticed or saw. Nothing came back in his blood work ever on his routine exams. So it's just one of those freak things, unfortunately. And he had just turned 10 that October, so he was young, and it was hard. Sugar is now 14. She's got a hyperthyroidism, and she's also got a grade 4 heart murmur, kind of like her brother. She's got a heart condition, but we caught it because she was showing signs like her brother did, so I caught on to it really quickly. But I've been treating her. And then a friend of mine posted a picture of Gretel and her brother. And something about her, I had to have her. And you're talking 4 years after I lost Spice, and I wasn't really looking for a kitten. I just wasn't really wanting another cat after losing him. But I had to have her. And so I went. The next one is 930. So I went, and he had rescued this whole litter of kittens. And I ended up taking her and her brother, the 2 Siamese. Ugh, they're so cute. And they're just so tiny, tiny, tiny. She was not even 2 pounds. She was just so little. Somebody dumped the whole litter. People are just rotten. Dumped them in the woods somewhere. It was just awful. Anyways, so I get her home, and I get him home. And of course, here's Miss Nosy Pants Sugar. She wants nothing to do with that boy. You know, she just lost her brother, and she is not wanting another boy in the house. Boy, oh boy, that was hard. That was difficult. But it worked out because the boy ended up going to my aunt, who I didn't know was looking for a kitten, a Siamese kitten. She loves Siamese kittens, cats altogether, but I didn't know she was looking for one. She never told me. So it ended up working out for the better. So she has Gretel's brother, and I have Gretel. She got the blue point Siamese, and I got Gretel, the blue Russian Siamese, which they are so much alike, it's hysterical. But boy, are they a handful. And going from having high energy bangles to sassy mouth Siamese, it's a little bit different. Gretel's just, I think, part crazy. Okay, so 993 is my next color. My aunt now, she's used to Siamese. And I tell her, and she just laughs. She thinks it's funny. But Gretel is the epitome of a Russian blue. She's food greedy. She likes her food. She will eat 24/7 if I let her. She bosses me around. If I'm not in the room, she meows and hollers for me. She has to have attention all the time. She's quite the cat. And she'll just haul off and just slap me for no reason. She doesn't scratch. She doesn't do that. She just, you walk by her and she just slaps you. And then she peels out and takes off. It's pretty funny, actually. She's pretty comical. So it's a whole new type of cat for me. But I wouldn't trade her for nothing. Okay. And then 118. Now you can see this combination is just a little bit different. And I'm going to go really light with this 118. Just because I've used pink here. So I know what this combo is. And this is a combination I've used on a flower. And this 118 is the color I've kind of used more towards the center of a flower. So if that gives you an idea of where this orange goes when I'm doing a floral. That's why it kind of looks a little off or a little out of place. It's really not. And it works. But I'm going really light-handed with this 118 here. And that's for that purpose. I'm going to go over that little bit of pink right there. I'm going to grab my 918, which I think I already have it in my hand. Look at this. That's what I have in my hand. Isn't that funny? Hilarious. Maybe I don't have it in my hand. I can't get much more in my hand, really. Do I have it in my hand? I do. Look at that. I do have it in my hand. Shocker, shocker. So, my 918, I'm also going to go really light. Gretel just woke up. I heard her thud off the chair. She's going for her feeding trough. There's still some dry kibble left. So you can see I'm just adding a subtle light layer. And I'm going to go all the way to the end. Only because I've used this combo before do I know it. As with most of my combos, but I know what's going to happen when I apply that last color, which is 1003. Now, my 1003, can you still see what I'm doing here? Okay. I'm going at the very end. Notice I moved my hand down to towards the end of my pencil because I want to do a light touch And I want to make sure I blend my oranges really well with this one, with the 1003. And I want to work from light to dark instead of dark to light this time, because I don't want to pull my dark colors into my light colors, but I do want to pull my light into my dark. So, because pretend this would be like your center of your flower, you want to keep that bright. So as I'm doing this, I'm going over those subtle colors. And now I'm going to go over that pink with this bright orange, yellow. And very lightly. I'm not doing a whole lot. I'm just giving it enough to brighten it. Okay. Now be careful when you're dragging backwards, because you'll drag those dark colors because it's on your pencil tip. See? I don't know if you can see that. See that red on the tip of my pencil? That's why when you work your colors, you want to go one way or the other, and it's important to remember that. So either go from light to dark or dark to light. And I like to wipe my pencils off either with a paper towel or just on my hand, or the tip of my finger. And then you can go back over it again. Because then you're not bringing that red or that purple back into your yellow or your pinks. And you don't always have to sharpen them to get that off. A quick wipe, because they're soft, will do the trick. Okay, this one's a really easy combo. It's 2 colors, 937 and 1013. And I think I've done this one before in one of my other videos. Some simple color combos I've shown before, which this is a really good one. I think I probably showed it for the mushrooms, maybe. I've done so many, I can't remember. But this is another good one for doing patina or metalwork. I know it seems like an odd combo, but it works. It even works for leaves or dirt work, soil work, and rocks. It also works for deep skin tones, for cheek colors. It's a great rich tone for skin. So 1013. It's that beautiful Deco Peach. So when you add your Deco Peach, watch what it does. See what it does to that Tuscan? And you could always drag that out a little bit more if you want with that Tuscan and make it a little lighter pink. But that's a great 2-color combo right there. Okay, simple, not overly dramatic, but it gets the job done. 1095, 937, and 1029. So 1095. And I think I might have showcased this one too in one of the mushrooms. I can't remember. Some of these colors are really dark. So when you're working them, you want to kind of have an idea what you're wanting to do with them. There's Miss Gretel. Oh, here she is off to my right, which is where my pencils are. So I have enough of her teeth marks in my pencils. She's such a little heathen. I'm surprised she's not trying to jump up here. I'm just waiting. She's eyeballing, which means she could at any minute jump up here or down and knock the camera over. Now she's over to my left. I'm not sure what she's up to. She's up to something. She's up to no good. That's what she's up to. I'm telling you right now. 9:37. I do not know what I'm watching now. The Peanut Butter Falcon? What is this? It just came on. Okay. When Claire was doing her live today, we were talking about that series, The Queen. I've watched that a couple times. It's a pretty good series. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And Bridgerton, I already watched all 3 series. I binged it. I did. It's pretty good. I liked it. I admit it. I liked that one. It's intriguing. It's something different. You get tired of the same old dramas. I like to watch things that are fun and exciting and something new. But I know how much Claire loves the Oak Island. No, I'm just kidding. I think her husband Jack likes that. I like to tease her because it's so funny. I don't know how many seasons are on. They're always digging holes and they never find nothing. I'm so over it. Okay. And the final color here is 1029, which I know this doesn't seem like a red combo, but really it is. This has red undertones in it, so that's why I've added this in here. Because the subtle redness in these colors, you could simply add 925, 924, 923, and drag these out even more. You can change what you're doing with these colors by simply adding a few more shades of red to it. It's as simple as that. And this color combination right here is also great for dark skin tones, or like I said, if you add 924 or 923, which is some of your red colors in your Prisma family, now you're getting into the more red color, the bright reds, your Christmas colors. So you can get a bright red lip. You can get some fabulous red bows. And the henna, this mahogany red becomes like your shading color. But this is also a good color for tree bark, for wood. Okay. Just some good colors. Okay. 925 is the next one. So 925, 922, and 940. And I know some of these combos you guys wouldn't think of using. You're like, what? But when they're done right and applied right, they do work very well together. It's just because they don't blend out this way together very well doesn't mean they don't work. You got to think of them as you're using them in an image. So let's say I was using this 3-color combo here on a flower. You would want to think of what kind of flower or what kind of leaf would you use this on, how you would apply that and wear. Even a cheek color. So here's your 922. I don't know what I'm watching. There's something weird. Sometimes I think it just plays random stuff. Because I have streaming. I'm going to mix this just a little bit here. A little better. Such a weird angle. There we go. It's better. I want you guys to be able to see that better. And I know you could do a better job than I'm doing on this video. When you do it, when you're sitting at home doing them yourself, you can work your combos a little bit better. Okay, and 940. It's nice, though, to get the color combos. And you can go over them. But it's also nice to just sit down and do them yourself. But I like to give people ideas of what you can use your combos for. Now, see how I'm putting this 940 down right now? Now, watch when I take my sable, or sand, as you want to call it. Let me get this layer on the end here. Now, I'm going to bring it back. And watch as I blend the sable with my colors. As again, I'm going from light to dark this time instead of dark to light. But watch how the color changes as I'm adding this sable over those two colors. And I'm mixing the two colors together. So this is my third color. So see what happens when I blend all three colors together? See how it just changes it all together? So you get that real gradual color, and it gives it kind of a reddish, orangish peach, kind of like a Tahitian sunset. It's just a really cool color. Okay, now we're going to go 925, 924, and 122, which these are all like the red family. So this should start with your darker and work to your lighter red. Am I still in your... We'll do this last one for right now. I think my leg's asleep. I know Gretel, she's over here. She's staring at me. She's giving me that "Mom, I'm bored" look. And then I feel guilty because I'm not giving her any attention. I don't know what it is about our pets. They really do become like our kids, don't they? I know I spent a lot of money trying to do what I needed to do for my boy, Spice, before he died. Because I didn't know what was wrong with him, and neither did the vet. We did a lot of tests on him, spent a lot of money on him, and it was futile in the end. His heart condition, there was nothing that could be done for him. There was no drugs, no medication, no tests. There was nothing that we could have done for him. It was sad. It's just, he had an enlarged heart, and sadly, it happened so fast. And he had just had his checkup and everything. That's what was so bad. Nobody caught it. like the silent killer, like heart attacks in people, you know? You just, sometimes things just aren't there when you take them in. You have no way of knowing. And it just ripped me to pieces because I felt like I missed something, you know, when I really didn't, and neither did my vet. It happened. But it makes me more cautious, especially with his sister now. And Sugar's medication, trust me, is not cheap. It's expensive, and it about kills me every month. But I do what I can for her. And she's just a sweetheart. She's just a tiny little thing, but she's just a sweetheart. And she'll actually be 15 in October. So she's older. She's lived quite a bit longer than her brother, which I am really shocked, but she has the same heart condition as him, and it's amazing how much longer she has lived with her heart condition, but her heart is not enlarged like his is. But she does have a grade 4 heart murmur, so it's quite significant. She's hyperthyroid with a grade 4 heart murmur and some kidney problems, so she's basically just living her best life at this point. I let her have whatever she wants. I mean, within cat food reason, you know. She don't get human food or anything like that. But she does get as many treats as she wants. Okay, and 122. Which is this one right here, which is my permanent red. Now, I'm going to start really subtle right at the end here. I like to start with a light because I'd like to make sure my lines are pretty smooth and pretty even when I do that final blended color. And it's easier sometimes in a picture because you know where your goals are. You know what you're working towards on a picture versus a straight line. And I'm working in like really weird lighting. I don't know why my lighting is so funky. Okay. I was tinkering with my lights last night. Again, I have those smart lights so I can set all kinds of different colors. And I set this new color to my light. I call it art lighting, I called it. And I think my color is off because it's got this funky glow to it, and I think it's really messing with my eyes. I think I gotta switch it back. It's not quite daylight white, but it's like a yellow, I don't know, it's a weird white. I don't like it. I thought I liked it, but I don't like it now. I like the bright white light better. Especially at night. In the daylight, I don't like it. But it's nighttime, so. Okay. Now you see how I'm just going to work this back into my darker. Which because, even though I work from light to dark, because I'm just doing red over red, it's pretty hard to mix the colors here. I mean, you're not really going to notice if I get a little bit of the darker red into the lighter red unless you're doing really light shades. So I'm not too worried about pulling my dark up into my light because these blend pretty well together. And you could see that just in the subtleness of the shades I used. So I got 3 tones of red here. Now, if you wanted to, and I don't know if it's in this grouping of colors I did. It could be later on in these color combos. I could have thrown it in here. You can drag this out. You can add orange in here. You can add yellow in here. You can add pinks. You can drag these out more. So, and you can even start darker if you like. So don't limit your color palettes to just what I'm giving you. These are just options. So to get you started, we'll do this last one right here, and then I will take a break. So 1030, 1033, and 915. So 1030 is going to be your raspberry, which is this one. Obviously, I use some of these colors a lot because they are my shorter colors. And if you're like me and you have a lot of pencils and extenders, because I tend to use them all the time. It's funny because one minute I'll have like 10 extenders going and then I have none because I've busted out all new pencils. It's like I say, my backups have backups. Which I tend to do that because I'll see, when Prismas go on sale, you know, buy two, get two free. I can't help myself. It's an addiction. And I must stop doing it because I don't need any more colored pencils. Good grief. I have enough. I don't know that I'll ever use what I have. That's why I had to start doing some giveaways. It's crazy. Which, don't forget, if you're not subscribed to my channel, you're not automatically entered in that giveaway. If you are subscribed, June 1st, I will be randomly drawing a name. I will try to reach out to you on Messenger. I will announce it on my YouTube channel in the community page who the winner is on June 1st. I will give you until June 3rd to reach out to me, to respond to me. You must respond to me via Messenger or via email. Somehow get a hold of me where I can reach out to you and we can communicate privately so I can get your mailing address. If you don't, I will draw another name on June 3rd. And that's not being me. That's not me being mean. That's me being fair. 1033 and 915. Did I forget to grab 1033? Did I do it? I didn't. I have it right here. Again, that's not me being mean. That's me being fair. I'm going to give 72 hours or 3 days, 2 days, 48 hours, for you to respond. And if you don't respond, then I will draw another name for the winner. Only because I want to draw the name and get the prize mailed out. It's probably $50 worth of art supplies. So, you know, I will do everything I can to reach out to you. But if my attempts fail and you don't reach out to me, there's nothing more I could do, and I apologize. But it's really hard, again, when some subscribers only, like on YouTube, I don't know your real names. So, like, some of you just have a YouTube name as a subscriber. So if you happen to get drawn, that's the name I'm going to announce. So I don't have any way of knowing who you are other than by that name. So pay attention and check and see if you're the winner. And if you are, respond to that announcement because I will check it. I promise I will check it, or message me right away on Facebook Messenger. It's Stephanie McNeil on Facebook Messenger. I am on Facebook. I'm pretty easy to find. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. I'm on there. YouTube. So this is 915. I didn't get a very good blend there because I was yakking, but that's all right. So that's the plan for June 1st for the giveaway. I think whoever wins this will be very happy because I told you what the prizes are. It's what I didn't tell you that I added in there. There's bonus prizes, and that's a surprise for the winner. So there's extra little goodies I threw in there for whoever wins. Oop, see? Now see, you got to witness what I told you not to do, is drag your dark to your light. And I just did it. So now you can see what happens when you do that. It's icky. It's icky, icky. Okay, so let's do this one up top, that one I missed. Let's do this one really quick. Let's do 930. Where is it? Where's my 930? There it is. And that is not 911. I believe that's 917. I don't know how I did that. Let's do 930 here. 911. Where did I get that goofy number? So I hope whoever wins likes what they get. Sorry if you don't. It's a free prize. I mean, honestly, I can't see how somebody could complain over winning something for free. Cost them nothing. But then again, I will do my best to pack it very well so it arrives safely. I will bubble wrap it because there are some colored pencils in there. So I want them to arrive safely. And if the tips get broken in shipping, I'm sorry. It's not really anything I can do about that, but I will wrap them the best I can. Hopefully the postal system is kind. They don't beat them up too bad. So let's grab 91. Do I have 917 over here? Let's see. I have 916. Let's do 916. How about that? Let's make this 916. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it, do it, do it. Since I have 916 over here, where's my... I don't have a pencil. I have this pencil, so let's do about that. 916. I don't have 917, so let's just do 916. I'm going to do 916. Because I really don't know what crazy number that's supposed to be. I looked, and I'm just weirded out by it. Because I put 911 there. And I know that's not right. It's weird. And so is this combo. But I know there's a reason for it. And I don't think this was the right one. But I know this combo works for flowers. In case you're wondering. I'm going to have to go back through my books and try to figure out what combination I picked for this first one. Maybe it was a mystery combination. 1003 is the next one. Because 911, that's just weird. I wouldn't have done that. See? So it couldn't have been 916 because 1003 is the last color. It had to be like, maybe it was 918. What do you think? Maybe it was 918, 930, 918, 1003. I bet it was 918. Yep. Well, we'll just consider this a trial and error combo. This first one was a mistake. How about that? The Pacific Northwest color FUBAR. I don't know what happened. I don't know where I got that 911 from. An emergency combo. Calling for an emergency combination there. Maybe that's what I was thinking. Let me zoom out for you really quickly so you can see here. Okay. You roll this around. Can you see them? Hopefully you can. I can't see anything. Okay. Are you in view? Let me zoom out just a little bit more. Okay. So hopefully you can see the combos here. All the ones we did right here. And I'm going to push this up a little bit so you can take a look. I don't know, my lighting is so bad. Not horrible. If I turn it for you, maybe you can get a better picture. Yeah. Does that help? Is that better? Leave it there for a second. You guys can get a screenshot of that. And then you can zoom in on this and you can be able to read all the numbers. You just have to rotate it. Can you read my messy handwriting? Okay. I will come back and we will do some more of all these. We will actually finish this whole page of red combos together. Or not together, I will, and then you can do them with me or you can do them by yourself. But stay tuned and I will get the chromaflow 150 color chart up for you guys shortly.